Hey folks, JD here, and today on this really horrible grey day, we're going to be taking up and comparing the flight of these two. This is the MJX Bugs 6, this is the Hubsan X4 Storm, or the H122D, and well, they're quite similarly matched in some aspects, and in others not at all. So the MJX is a entry-level racing copter that MJX has made. It's a lovely little copter, really is nice. It is quite heavy in the comparison with the Hubsan. It is made mostly out of plastic, no carbon fibre on here. It has a set of four brushless motors, 1600s or 1800s I believe, if I'm correct, and all in all, this is a fast machine. 2-speed modes, 3D flips, but above all, it is, as MJX have marketed it, it is to get people into the racing quadcopter movement. Hubsan is a proper little FPV racer in the way that a lot of people know FPV racers. Very sleek, carbon fibre body, coreless motors, extremely quick. How will they fare when they're both together? Well, this is going to be purely a flight test. I am going to put the run cam on the MJX, as I'm going to be getting a little bit of video from this Hubsan as well. But mostly it's about flight. How do they fare? Let's find out. Okay, let's do the MJX first. Now this is a little bit of a fiddly process. So what you've got to do is you've got to turn on the transmitter and hold down the unlock button. And then, once you hear that beep, you can plug in the MJX and give it 2 seconds. And then it should automatically just bind like that. It's a really fiddly process. I don't like it. It's very, very convoluted where you have to keep this all plugged in. But there we go. That's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is just calibrate the gyros now, and then we are going to take her up. There we go. So gyros calibrated. Okay, so now what we do, push the padlock to unlock the motors. Let's get to a safe distance and let's take this up. Alright, so now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take her around for a minute. Just going to fly her quite gently. It's been a while since I have flown her, and I just want to learn her little idiosyncrasies again before I put her into high mode. She flies really well. I like this. Very steady flight. Very steady flight. Now obviously we have got a bit of wind coming in here today. Let's kick her up into high mode. Oh! See that? As soon as you kick her up, bam, she dips massively. Her hovering as well is incredibly good. And she's able, with this extra power she's got from those 1800 motors, she really is able to cut through these breezes. Look at her go. Just any amount of movement will cut her through this little breeze that we've got here today. And yeah, she is. She's really able to go, and she flies so incredibly well. When you have got her in high mode like I have now, and you do turn her, she does flick up quite a bit, so she will increase altitude. Just expect that to happen. But against the Hubsan, how is she going to do? I don't know, because the Hubsan is an FPV racing copter, not entry level, and it is quick. It is very fast, and it's very stable as well and easy to control. This is easy to control, but obviously you have to remember that she is quite heavy, so she does dip in altitude quite often. She isn't a copter that you just leave at a particular altitude, and she won't just stay there. She does move around quite a bit. Alright, tell you what, I think we've seen enough of this guy. Let's bring this one down and let's take up the Hubsan. Alright, and now the Hubsan. So with this one, it's a little bit easier. What we've got to do is just plug in the quadcopter, and then once the quadcopter is plugged in, there we are, we get lights on the front, lights on the back, and then from that point we can turn on the transmitter, and then once the transmitter is on, we should then just auto bind. Bam, there we are. Okay, so with that folks, let's get back to a safe distance and let's take her up. Haha, different straight away. This guy screams. These motors are extremely powerful. Not saying the ones on the MJX aren't, of course, don't misconstrue what I'm saying there. The MJX is extremely powerful, but with these, they sound very, very much like a racing quadcopter. They really do scream. See, I like this guy because when he turns, he is very gentle in his turning movements. But when you let him rip, bam, he just gets in there and he flies and he goes. See, he is really, really good, this guy. Oh, and this guy is fast. Look how fast he is. I mean, the MJX, I think, is a little bit slower. I would say it's a little bit slower than this, just because it has weight on its against it, and it has a massive battery it's holding. Whereas this guy has got a really small battery, fits in the back of it, but at the same time, it's able to just use those coreless motors and power through. Okay, I think we've seen enough with this guy then. Let's bring him down and let's get a verdict. Okay, so how do I think they both fared? This is a bit of a difficult one. I didn't think it was going to be, but it has proven itself to be. The MJX, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. I bought this guy and I was really surprised as to how much this guy gives you. It is very quick. It gives you a lot of power when you need it. It has variable speed modes. And I found the highest speed mode to be a little bit erratic, but obviously out of an entry-level FPV, out of an entry-level racing quadcopter, that's exactly what you need. And obviously if you are learning on this part of the marketing for this is that MJX said that it is, you know, beginner friendly. And I believe that. I think it is. Just be careful on speed mode, on its highest speed mode 2. That is a little bit crazy. But still, it's easy to control. It feels lightweight when you're flying it. The only time it feels quite heavy is when you're 360 flipping. Then it feels quite heavy because it really comes down and and then you've really got to accelerate slightly to take in for the impact. The Hubsan, well, it's equally as good. Now, which one is better though? That doesn't mean I think either one is better yet. Now, with the Hubsan, it's carbon fibre, it's small, it's very flighty. It has 2 speed modes. Speed mode 2 is a proper killer. Speed mode 1 is nice and gentle. You can see me just moving it around quite nicely without any issues whatsoever. Now, I like that. I like to be able to take it really nice and slow. Now, when you do give it the beans, it really does fly, and it flies really, really quick. Now, I have found with this one, it doesn't keep altitude as well as the MJX. Now, with this one, it tends to float a little bit around, whereas the MJX tends to stay pretty solid at a pretty solid level. That being said, the battery in this whole quadcopter is a lot better balanced than the MJX Bug 6, because when I had the Bug 6, I had to really fiddle with that battery and get it so that it was nice and level, whereas this guy, I didn't. I was very prepared to, but I just didn't. He just didn't require it. He was extremely well balanced from the off. That is a very good plus point. So, what about them both? The final verdict. It's pretty much an equal match, but I think I do prefer the MJX. I really do. I mean, sorry Hubsan, it's nothing personal at all, but at the same time, the MJX is just such a good, reliable copter. I've had this thing for a few months. I've taken it out a few times. This is the first proper time I've taken it out in a big field, and wow, he delivers in spades. That being said, don't think that the Hubsan is a bad copter. It really isn't. It's fantastically good. But I think when pitched against each other, the MJX is a solid winner for me. There we are, folks. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.